Hello and happy Women's History Month. My name is Emma Wieduwilt, and I am a volunteer on the NAWA Community and Connection Committee, as well as a pricing actuary at Travelers. This month, NAWA is partnering with the CAS to host a couple of fireside chats with women leaders in the CAS. Today, I'm excited to be speaking with Erika Schurr on the topic of advocacy and empowerment. Erika is Chief Actuary and a member of the senior leadership team of Travelers Canada, where she manages a diverse team of actuaries and leads all aspects of the actuarial and analytics function, including pricing, reserving, predictive modeling, and advanced analytics. She is an expert in her field and a sought-after speaker who participates in many industry panels and an active member of several industry associations and not-for-profit organizations, including the Canadian Institute of Actuaries, Canadian Actuarial Society, Insurance Bureau of Canada, and Property and Casualty Insurance Compensation Corporation. She has served on the board of directors of the Casualty Actuarial Society, recognized as a leader of change by Insurance Business Canada in 2021, and was a recipient of the Elite Woman Award for 2022. Erika is a graduate of the University of Waterloo, where she holds a Bachelor's of Mathematics degree in Actuarial Science and Statistics. She's also a fellow of the Canadian Institute of Actuaries and of the Casualty Actuarial Society. So welcome, Erika, and thanks for joining us. To kick us
Thanks
off,
for giving me the opportunity.
great. So to kick us off, can you share how you've advocated for yourselves and others in your career as an actuarial professional, particularly in advocating for gender equality and diversity within the profession?
So as you can tell by my resume, I do participate in a lot of committees, both internally and within professional organizations. This is actually my fourth panel in as many weeks, just between Black History Month and Women's History Month. So yeah, I talk on a lot of panels, and after participating in so many committees, I find that um, there needs to be a bit of a call to action. And one of the most effective and the hardest things we can do is actually to act on attracting a diverse pool of candidates to the profession. So, just in general, the insurance industry needs to do a lot more to attract people to the profession. And we need to start a lot earlier. I think, NAWA and a lot of our diversity committees focus on women already in the profession and in the workplace. We need to be really starting a lot earlier in high schools, in colleges, attracting people into the pipeline, supporting them so that they can be successful through the exam process, and then really even through the hiring process as well. And so it's a real call to action, I think, that is needed.
Yeah, certainly agree. I like your point on reaching out earlier. The profession is one that could be challenging to switch into, although certainly achievable, but I think it's important to be aware of that, the importance of that.
I mean, no one sets out as a kid to dream about becoming an insurance executive. Like, certainly
Hmm.
that's not my,
Hmm.
that wasn't
Hmm.
my dream, but here we are.
Yeah, no, exactly. And getting that awareness out there throughout that education is certainly important. Um, Great. Can you share any examples of initiatives or programs implemented in your organization to empower women in the actuarial profession?
So, I mean, one of the benefits of working at Travelers, specifically, and it makes me super proud to work at Travelers, is that Travelers has a wide range of diversity networks, and particularly initiative that at Travelers that I think is having a massive impact on the actuarial profession itself. Is the Travelers Women in Analytics and Allies Network. We refer to it as WIA, and it's a professional business group within Travelers that is purely focused on supporting the development of analytic women. And I'm actually in my second year of a 2-year executive co-chair role, and it's just been amazing and empowering. And it's really, we have a vision to really unlock the potential and expand opportunities for women at Travelers in the analytics space. And really, our mission is to increase the influence of analytic women by changing the culture and really encouraging that individual development that creates that positive business impacts, which I think is, the real value in promoting diversity. So really proud to be a member of Travelers and to participate in these networks. And I think if we can encourage other employers to invest in these kind of programs, I think that will do a large part in just encouraging and empowering women in the analytics space.
That's great. I love that you mentioned WIA, so I'm a proud member myself and found great value in the different opportunities that the networks provided. So I definitely would second that I think there's a lot of value in those sorts of organizations. What strategies have you found effective in advocating for changes or improvements to support the advancement of women in the actuarial field?
So I love this question because I actually think the COVID-19 pandemic did more for advocating for equality than anything. If we go back to what happened, and it was equal playing field. Everyone was trapped in their homes. Everyone had a dog or a kid, interrupting a video conference. It really humanized everyone. And it really created an environment of flexibility, which I think is part of the um, catalyst for change that was needed to really help women succeed. Women in general have this role of balancing multiple responsibilities and roles at home and in the office. And COVID-19 provided that flexibility. And I think that's persisted even now with all the hybrid work arrangements. I mean, personally, I am still supportive of in-person interaction. So I really do support the more hybrid model, just personal opinion. But I do think, COVID-19 did a lot to show people that, there can be more work-life balance and people can still be as productive. But also organizations like NAWA. I mean, fireside chats like this, it is just awareness and conversation that is proving to be effective. Representation matters. People, I get messages every time I do these panels that people hear me speak. I share my story. I share, just tips or situations, and they relate. They can understand, and I think it just helps them, you know, feel like they can do it too after hearing my story.
Yeah, that's really great. And I like that point on the impact of the pandemic on how we work and just opening up the ideas that we can make this hybrid situation work. Now, you just talked about how the environment we create in the workplace has an impact on the success of employees within an organization. How do you foster a culture of empowerment within your own team or organization?
So I think this is a pretty important point because I do think that a lot of change is due to the culture or environment that you create in your space and in your teams. And so I think you need to be very careful when resolving conflict, that you don't let any bias encroach upon that. Um, as we just talked about with the flexible work arrangements, everyone has a different approach to work. And, not every employee has insight into every coworker's tasks and as we do as managers. And so there could be thoughts in the workplace around, unbalanced workload. Like if they see, a woman logging off at 3 p.m. because she has to go pick up her kids. And, they vocalize, how come that person can't stay late? And they don't know that, you know, that person logs back on and works for 3 hours at night. No one knows someone's exact situation. And so I think there needs to be just a culture of understanding. And as us as leaders need to really help um, develop that culture or encourage that culture and that environment so that everyone feels welcome to do what they need to do. And if you think about, like, let's say someone overheard a comment about them logging off early and they feel pressure. when really that's unnecessary, and they shouldn't feel that pressure. And so, could feel disrespected, unwelcome. So it really is about really acknowledging the different working styles that are out there, really acknowledging the different situations that every employee is in, and being open as leaders to encouraging that diversity, and that not everyone will work the same, and you can get that maximum productivity out of your team if you allow for that space.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. And I mean, I see it within my own team, just many different types of working arrangements, even being in different time zones. Like that's a dynamic as well. So I like that. Have you encountered any challenges or resistance in your advocacy efforts? And if so, how have you overcome them?
So to be perfectly honest, like I think the challenges that it is a little exhausting. I mean, if you think about it, right, we're forging a path, right? Um, these ideas need to be embedded in every process, every decision. You're changing culture, and that takes time and effort and conversation and repetition. I'm lucky enough to have a female CEO at Travelers Canada who's breaking barriers and leading the way. But she is one of a handful of female CEOs in the insurance industry, right? And so she's doing heavy lifting, kind of forging a path. And luckily enough, I've had that step up just being part of this organization. But here I am, trying to encourage and support future generations. And like I say, there's a call to action as well. It's not just conversation anymore. You actually need to put time and effort to kind of make these things happen. And so it's really easy to get caught up in your daily work. I'm a mother of a toddler. Finding the time to, put in these kind of extracurriculars is also a challenge. But really want to say thank you to NAWA for creating the space to have these conversations. It's a reminder for us that we need to keep going. It's a reminder to everyone that they can do their little part to keep change happening, and just to keep at it. So we're all in this together.
Yeah, no, I like that as well. And good reminder in itself that it takes work to advocate for others and not always super easy and straightforward, but like these reminders are always good to be intentional about it. So I like that. Before we wrap up, I have one more question for you today, and that is, what advice would you give to other women actuarial professionals who want to become effective advocates for themselves and their peers?
Well, I mean, the really simple, elevator speech is just to, recognize your value. Um, trust yourself. You can do this. I think that that's just a really important message, that everyone has a role to play, and don't underestimate yourself. And you can be part of the solution. And it doesn't need to be big things. I think everyone always thinks about, some grand plan or you know big initiative, but just making someone feel welcome every single day, and creating that space and that culture, as I kind of highlighted before, being accepting of flexibility, and I think just creating the space for people is the best thing we can do every single day to advocate and empower those around us. And it's just a really good reminder to keep that going.
Great. That's a really great way to close us out there. So, Erica, thank you for sharing your insights and experiences related to that topic of advocacy and empowerment. It's been my pleasure chatting with you today, and I know I've taken away some great tips and reminders on this very important topic. Thank you again for your time and thoughts. For those interested in learning more about our mission or what we do here at the Network of Actuarial Women and Allies, please visit us at nawaactuaries.org. Thanks again, and happy Women's History Month.